there's a moment, quiet and unexpected, that hits many people after 60. It's not dramatic, no fireworks, no grand revelation. It happens when you're folding laundry, sitting on the porch, sipping your tea, and suddenly it hits you. I don't want to spend the rest of my life carrying everything I've carried until now. Not just bags and boxes, but emotional weight, guilt, pressure, fear, the need to keep proving something, the habit of always putting others first, even the idea that you must keep pushing, fixing, saving, sacrificing, forever. This moment is not about giving up, it's about waking up. It's about realizing that your next chapter, whatever you choose to call it, is not about chasing more. It's about choosing better. And here's the part no one tells you. Sometimes choosing better means letting go. Letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you. Letting go of routines that drain you. Letting go of habits that were once helpful, but now just hold you back. Letting go of people's opinions, of waiting, of fear, of delay. In today's video, we're going to explore 9 powerful things you may need to release after the age of 60. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you've earned the right to live with less weight and more freedom. These are the lessons I've learned not from books or headlines, but from sitting with people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. People who've lived full, complex lives. People who've told me, often with tears in their eyes, what they wish they had let go of sooner. Some of these may challenge you. Some might feel like they were written exactly for you. But each one is offered with love, compassion, and the deep belief that this chapter of your life can be lighter, richer, and more joyful than you ever expected. So take a breath, set down the weight just for a moment, and let's begin. 1. Let go of saving out of fear. For decades, you were taught to save. Save for the future. Save for emergencies. Save just in case. And that made sense. It was responsible, it was smart. It gave you safety, structure, and options. But now you're here, 60, 65, maybe even 75. You've done your part. You've built something solid. And yet, for many people at this stage, something strange happens. They're financially secure on paper, but emotionally, they're still living like it's all about to fall apart. They're still afraid to spend, afraid to enjoy, afraid to say yes to the life they've earned. And that fear quietly robs them of joy. I once met a man, healthy, retired, with over $2 million saved. His house was paid off. His pension covered his basic needs. And yet, he'd flinch every time his wife brought up taking a vacation, or even going out for dinner. What if we need that money later, he'd say. What if something happens? His fear wasn't logical. It was emotional. He had spent so long saving for someday, that now that someday had arrived, he couldn't let himself live it. I gently asked him a question that I now ask you. What if you never use it? What if later never comes the way you think it will? That question changed him. It reminded him that money is not just for survival, it's for living. It's for moments. It's for creating memories while you still can. If your needs are covered and you've planned responsibly, let yourself breathe. Let yourself spend, not recklessly, but joyfully. That doesn't mean draining your savings or throwing caution to the wind. It means giving yourself permission to enjoy the life you built, that trip you've been thinking about, that special dinner, that surprise gift for your grandchild. Say yes, because at this point in life, you're not just managing numbers, you're managing time. And time, unlike money, never comes back. So let go of the grip that fear has over your wallet. Replace it with trust. Trust that you've done enough. Trust that you are enough. And trust that this stage of life is not for hoarding, it's for savoring. 2. Let go of spending on things that don't bring you joy. Once you start giving yourself permission to spend, there's another important truth to consider. What are you spending on? Just because you're no longer saving out of fear doesn't mean you should fill your days or your home with things that don't add value to your life. Now is the time to spend with purpose, not out of habit or guilt or pressure. And for many people over 60, this shift in spending mindset is one of the most liberating experiences of their entire life. I remember speaking with a woman named Evelyn in her early 70s. She told me how she used to spend thousands every year on clothes she never wore, holiday gifts she felt obligated to buy, and home gadgets that sat unopened in drawers. It just became what I did, she said. I'd see something on sale and think, maybe I'll need that, or I'd buy things to please people. But when I looked back, I couldn't remember any of it making me happy. Then she paused, smiled, and said, "But I'll never forget that $600 flight I took to surprise my sister for her birthday. That weekend was worth more than all those shopping trips combined." That's the difference between spending and spending well. You've earned the right to use your money as a reflection of what you value most, whether that's travel, quality time with family, investing in your comfort or health, or creating memories that linger long after the receipt fades. What you no longer need is the kind of spending that comes from emotional clutter, trying to impress others, chasing trends, or buying just to fill space. Let go of the spending that feels meaningless, rushed, or heavy. Stop buying things you don't actually use. Release the guilt of not keeping up. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to enjoy your money at this stage of life. If it doesn't bring you peace, comfort, laughter, or meaning, it's probably not worth it. And remember, joy isn't always tied to a price tag. Some of the richest moments happen when you walk in nature, send a handwritten letter, or sit quietly on your porch with someone you love. So, before you spend, ask yourself, is this helping me live the life I want, or is it just noise? Spend on what fills your soul, not on what clutters your space. 3rd, let go of trading time for money if it no longer serves you. For most of your life, time and money were inseparable. You traded one to earn the other. You worked through weekends, holidays, birthdays, showing up, doing what needed to be done, building your life one paycheck at a time. And for years, that system worked. It was necessary. It was noble. But now you've arrived at a new chapter, one where time, your time, has become the most precious currency you have. And the question becomes, are you still trading your hours, your energy, your life for money you no longer need? Now, this doesn't mean you need to stop working altogether. For some people, work still brings meaning. It gives rhythm to their days, connection to a community, and a sense of purpose. If that's you, wonderful. Keep showing up with pride. But for many others, the work no longer inspires. It drains. It lingers. It keeps you busy but not fulfilled. I've met countless people in their 60s and 70s who continue working, not because they want to, but because they're afraid of what might happen if they stop. Afraid of losing structure. Afraid of losing identity. Afraid of becoming irrelevant. There's a man I remember well. Richard. He was a high school teacher for over 30 years. At 62, his friends asked, "When are you going to retire?" And he'd smile and say, "When I stop loving it." And so he kept teaching. Until the morning he woke up and quietly knew it was time. He walked away at peace, No bitterness, no fear, just the beautiful satisfaction of a chapter well lived. That's the gift you deserve, to choose how you spend your time now based on what matters, not what pays, because you can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Once today is gone, it's gone, and no paycheck, not even a generous one, can buy it back. So let go of the belief that your worth is measured by your productivity. Let go of working out of habit or fear. Let your hours reflect your heart, not just your history. If work still lights you up, keep going. But if it doesn't, if it keeps you from living the life you want, maybe it's time to put your time where it truly belongs, into what fulfills you, excites you, heals you, and reminds you that you've earned this season. Fourth, let go of putting off experiences. There's a phrase we hear all too often. One day I'll take that trip. One day I'll learn to play the piano. One day I'll visit that old friend. But here's the truth most people don't realize until it's too late. One day is not a day on the calendar. And for far too many people, that day never comes. After 60, it becomes easier to fall into routines. The comfort of the familiar can feel safe, and change, especially joyful change, can feel indulgent, even unnecessary. But I want to challenge that, because this chapter of your life, it was never meant to be just comfortable. It was meant to be lived. I once sat with a couple in their late 60s who had dreamed of driving cross-country in a little Airstream trailer. They had the money, they had the time. But every year they said, next summer. Then, one winter, the husband had a health scare, not life-threatening but enough to shake their perspective. That was the moment they realized they'd been waiting for permission that would never come. So they packed up, hit the road, and 6 months later, they told me it was the best decision they'd ever made. Not because it was perfect, but because they finally did it. And doing it gave them back something more valuable than any money ever could. Time with each other, fully lived. So let me ask you, what are you still putting off? A road trip, a new hobby, writing that book, reconnecting with someone you miss? What if this is the year you finally said yes? Not because everything is perfect, but because you are here, and now is what you have. Stop waiting for a more convenient time. Work can be an excuse. So can routines, responsibilities, and even just one more year. But behind all those reasons, there's often fear. Fear of starting, fear of change, fear of prioritizing yourself for once. Let go of that fear. Let go of waiting, and give yourself full permission to experience the world as fully as you once dreamed you would. You're not too old, it's not too late. And the moment you choose to say yes to life again, life will say yes right back. 5. Let go of neglecting your health. Let's talk honestly, because this one matters more than almost anything else. After 60, your health is no longer just a background detail. It becomes the very thing that determines whether your retirement years will be filled with adventure and energy, or spent managing fatigue, pain, and decline. Yet for many people, health still gets pushed to the side. It's easy to tell yourself, it's too late now, or I'm doing fine for my age, or I'll deal with it later. But here's the truth. Later is already here. You don't need to become a fitness fanatic or adopt a strict joyless diet to see real change. What you do need is to stop neglecting the body that's been carrying you through life all these years. Because what good is all the money you've saved, all the experiences you still want to have, if your body isn't strong enough to enjoy them? I once asked a client, would you rather have $10 million and be in constant pain, or have half that amount and feel energized and mobile every single day. Without hesitation, he said, "Give me the energy. The rest I can figure out." And that's the shift we all need to make. Health isn't about looking younger. It's about staying free. Free to walk without worry. Free to travel. Free to climb stairs, chase grandkids, stand in the kitchen without back pain, and wake up without dread. And the good news, you don't need perfection. You need momentum. Start with a short daily walk. Drink more water, cut back on processed foods. Add more fresh fruits, vegetables, and protein. Try light strength training. Even body weight movements can rebuild balance, protect your joints, and reduce the risk of falls. See your doctor regularly. Stretch. Rest. Breathe deeply. This isn't about restriction. It's about restoration. Every step you take today adds to your ability to live fully tomorrow. Every small change becomes a powerful act of self-respect. So let go of neglect. Let go of excuses. Let go of the belief that decline is inevitable. Because you're not too far gone. You're not too old. And the energy, clarity, strength, and freedom you crave, it's still waiting inside you. All you have to do is start. 6. Let go of worrying about what others think. For most of your life, you've probably tried to do the right thing. You've shown up for your family. You've worked hard. You've kept the peace, followed the rules, and carried yourself with responsibility. And somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, you started filtering your choices through the expectations of others. What will they think? Will I look silly? Is this appropriate for someone my age? But here's the gift of growing older. You no longer need permission. You've earned the right to live your life on your terms. And yet, so many people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s still hesitate to try something new, speak their truth, or fully enjoy life, because they're worried someone might judge them. I once met a woman named Judith. She was 66 and had dreamed her whole life of taking a painting class. But she never did. Why? What if I'm bad at it? What if people laugh? She asked. One day, she finally signed up. The class didn't make her famous, but she said it made her feel alive again. She realized how much of her joy had been quietly postponed by the weight of other people's opinions. The truth is, the older you get, the more freedom you earn to stop caring about the noise around you. You want to wear bold colors? Do it. You want to say no to that family gathering that drains your energy? Say it with grace. You want to dance in your kitchen, sing in public, learn Spanish, travel solo, start dating again, or post your art online. Please, do it. Because here's something most people only realize near the end. The biggest regrets aren't about what people thought. They're about the things we didn't do because we were too afraid of what people might think. There's a famous quote from a hospice nurse who spent years listening to the final reflections of the dying. The number one regret she heard: "I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." Let that sink in. So today, release that pressure. Let go of performing. Let go of waiting for someone else's approval, and instead, give yourself full, unapologetic permission to be who you are, fully and freely, not someday. Now, 7. Let go of the doom and gloom. Let's be honest. Turning on the news these days can feel like opening a floodgate of fear. War, disasters, crime, division, and endless debates. It doesn't matter which channel you watch. The feeling is the same. The world is falling apart. And if you're over 60, spending hours absorbing that every single day can start to feel like a weight you never meant to carry. Now, let me be clear. Staying informed is important. You deserve to know what's happening in your world. But there's a difference between being informed and being consumed, between knowing what's real and drowning in what's negative. Because when you absorb too much doom and gloom, day after day, it starts to shape your thoughts, your health, and your spirit. It becomes harder to see beauty. It becomes harder to believe in people. It becomes harder to sleep peacefully, or even smile freely. I once worked with a man named Roger, 70 years old, who watched 3 hours of cable news every evening without fail. His blood pressure was high. His sleep was restless. He constantly talked about how the world was going to hell. One day, he decided to turn the TV off for a full week and instead took daily walks, listened to music, and spent time calling old friends. At the end of that week, he told me, "I feel like myself again." I didn't realize how heavy all that noise had become. You see, fear is a business, and negativity is addictive, but that doesn't mean you have to keep feeding it. You have a choice. You can decide that your peace of mind is worth protecting. You can decide to seek stories of kindness, beauty, and hope. You can limit how much you take in and choose to focus on what you can control: your health, your relationships, your environment, your joy. So let go of the constant stream of anxiety. Let go of the belief that everything is hopeless. Because the truth is, the world is still filled with wonder. People are still doing good. The sun still rises. Laughter still heals. And your life, your attention, is still your own. You've lived through so much already. You've earned your peace. And while you can't change the whole world, you can absolutely change the world within you. Let that be the world you wake up to. Let that be the one you nurture. 8. Let go of ignoring or obsessing over your finances. Money is one of those things that never quite stops whispering in your ear, even after you've retired, even after the bills are paid. For some people, it's a source of quiet dread. They avoid checking their accounts. They don't want to talk about budgeting or long-term planning. It's too complicated, they say. I'll figure it out later. But for others, it becomes an obsession. They monitor every transaction, calculate every possible scenario, and worry endlessly, even when they're more than okay. But whether you're avoiding your finances or obsessing over them, the result is often the same: stress. And the entire purpose of a financial plan, especially after 60, is to help you live with peace, not panic. I remember a man named Daniel. He was 68 and had done well for himself. He had a pension, solid savings, no debt. But every time someone invited him on a trip or out for dinner, he'd freeze up. "What if I need that money later?" he'd ask. He was so afraid of running out that he forgot why he saved in the first place. On the flip side, I met another woman, Sharon, who avoided her finances entirely. She didn't want to look. She didn't want to think about it. And the unknown became a silent source of fear in the background of her daily life. Both were stuck, not because of their financial situation, but because of their relationship with money. So here's what I want to say to you. Let go of both extremes. Don't ignore your money, but don't let it control you either. Talk to a trusted advisor. Know your numbers. Make sure your basic needs are covered. And then live. Use your finances to support the life you want, not to hold you hostage with worry. You didn't save and work for decades just to admire the number on a screen. You did it so you could create memories, rest without fear, and give generously when your heart tells you to. So yes, be wise, but also be free. Money is a tool, not a purpose, and the most valuable thing it can buy is peace of mind. Let go of the fear that says, What if I don't have enough? And replace it with the confidence to ask, how can I use what I've built to make this time in my life truly count? Because the best financial plan isn't about spreadsheets. It's about feeling safe enough to say yes. 9. Let go of living like you have forever. There's a quiet illusion many of us carry through life, that we have time, that there will always be another day, another chance, another summer. We say things like, next year, someday, or when things settle down. And then the years roll by, the calendar flips again, and suddenly we find ourselves in our 60s, 70s, even 80s, still waiting for the right time to really live. But here's the truth. You don't have forever. And that's not meant to frighten you. It's meant to free you. Because when you fully embrace the idea that life is limited, something beautiful happens. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't matter. You stop tolerating what drains you. You start speaking more honestly, loving more deeply, and choosing what really matters. You begin to feel what so many people at the end of their lives wish they had felt sooner: the urgency of joy. I once worked with a woman named Lorraine, who had lost her husband a few years prior. For decades, they'd talked about going to Italy together. They had the money. They had the passports. But life kept getting in the way. After he passed, she made the decision to go alone. She cried on the plane. But when she stood in that vineyard they had once dreamed of visiting, something inside her softened. She told me later, I didn't go for the trip. I went because I finally realized I don't want to keep waiting for life to start. We often think we'll be ready later. We'll forgive later. We'll begin later. But if you knew with absolute certainty that this was your final year, how would you live it differently? Who would you call? What would you say? What would you stop postponing? Let go of living like you have all the time in the world. You don't, but you do have today. You have this hour, this breath, this window of light to do something kind, something bold, something that reminds you you're still alive. Because the goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to live fully, right here, right now, with nothing held back. And the moment you stop living like time is endless, is the moment your life finally begins to feel whole. Conclusion. Let go, so you can finally hold what matters. Now that you've walked with me through these 9 powerful shifts, I want to invite you to take a quiet breath and really ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that no longer serves me? Is it fear, pressure, guilt, old routines, someone else's expectations? Letting go isn't about loss. It's about liberation. It's about creating room in your life for peace, for purpose, for the moments that still make your heart beat faster. The kind of moments you don't want to miss because you were too busy holding on to something that was never meant to follow you into this chapter. Let's remember what we're releasing. Let go of saving out of fear and spend with joy. Let go of spending out of habit and choose what truly matters. Let go of trading time for money unless it fills you with purpose. Let go of putting off experiences because someday is now. Let go of neglecting your health. Your body is your freedom. Let go of worrying what others think. You've earned the right to be fully yourself. Let go of doom and gloom. Your attention deserves better. Let go of financial anxiety. Plan smart, then live fully. Let go of the illusion that time is endless, because what you have right now is precious. If you're still here, I want to thank you, not just for watching, but for being the kind of person who's ready to age with intention, with heart, with grace. So now I'll ask you something deeply personal. What are you ready to let go of? Take a moment to reflect, and if you feel comfortable, share your answer in the comments. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. If this video moved you, please like it, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting insights made for this extraordinary season of life. Because here at Senior Fit, we don't just believe in adding years to your life, we believe in adding life to your years. We'll see you in the next one.